Hey, thank you for tuning in with INO. I'm sitting here with Jeff Sublett for an interview today. Jeff, tell us something about you.
Well, my name is Jeff Sublett. I am the student pastor at Central Church right here in Miami, Florida, in the wonderful, beautiful city of Miami. All right, pastored by David Stalker Jr.
Nice. I remember meeting you, 2 years ago?
3
3 years
maybe
ago.
4.
I've known for 3 years. You were in Key West at the time.
I was.
And then you moved to Miami from Key West. I like Key West, but Miami's fun too. So tell us something about yourself, Jeff.
Well, we met in DSOM. DSOM's like a school of ministry type course that we were taking. I am a pastor's kid.
Nice. How was that?
It was amazing. No, it wasn't. I hated it, to be honest with you. I'm a pastor's kid. Grew up going to church, going to every single church every single night of the week that there was something. And so it was very bad. Kind of put that label of pastor's kids, oh, they have to be bad, or they're bad. I put that label on me and I loved it.
Which a lot of people do, right? A lot of pastors' kids, I see.
Most of them are. I think it's not a stereotype. I think it's it's the norm. But anyways, I loved it. I fed off of the energy of being the pastor's kid. Oh, you must be bad. I'm like, yeah, I love it. So I was a very bad kid growing up. A lot of trouble, and then when I got to high school, a lot more trouble. And then as soon as I graduated high school, I left and went and got in a lot of more trouble for the next about 12 years.
Wow.
Became a functioning drug addict and alcoholic.
And that started in high school?
Alcohol started really bad in high school, and a little bit of messing around with marijuana and weed and stuff like that. So, and then it progressed a few years later, and it continued to progress. And I would always, I lived in Los Angeles for many years, became highly addicted to multiple drugs, then moved away to Atlanta, thought I could just run from my problems. And if I moved to a different city, my problems, I could fix them. No one would know me as a drug addict and as a liar and a thief. I could just move to another city and everything would be all right. But I slowly began to realize that I can't run from my problems. They come with me.
Yeah. What you're trying to do, you're trying to go somewhere where you think you could have a fresh start and start brand new.
Exactly. But I needed to start brand new and a fresh start right here.
Yeah.
So fast forward till I'm in Key West, got married, found a woman, got married, and still was hiding my drug addictions from my wife. And there came a point in my life where my wife said, all right, Jeff, she busted me. Some of the crazy stories that I have are just unbelievable of what I did to my family. I don't even know. The only reason she's still with me today and she stuck with me through that was by God's grace. Okay? But the night before we got married, I got busted with a bunch of drugs.
Wow, the night before.
Yep, the night before we got married.
Wow.
We almost didn't get married. And so then we got married and she put it on my plate. Either you're going to choose me or you're going to choose drugs. And so I went into a year-long rehabilitation, faith-based rehabilitation called Teen Challenge.
What was that moment that sort of, because people maybe are watching and thinking that it's over for them, that they need to do drugs, they need to do alcohol to get away. Maybe they need to leave a city to think, maybe they need to start brand new.
Right. Mostly it was, I can look back and think of peer pressure, like peer pressure all the way from 8th grade to the first time I drank alcohol, to the first time I did weed, first time I did cocaine, first time I did crystal meth, first time I did heroin, first time I did crack. Literally, I can think of all of those times that I actually did those, and I can still remember today the person that introduced me to it and was like, let's do this. And so it started with peer pressure, but then it evolved to I just got to have it to function, and it became my life. I would work 2 jobs to support my drug habits, and I just wanted to just cover all my problems with drugs, no matter what. I lived to get high.
Yeah.
Basically. So yeah, if anybody is out there and they're facing those problems and they're facing those addictions and they're facing all of those, those giants in their life, man, there is more to life.
Fast forward. You got married, you had kids, you have, one kid, and tell us what is something that, has encouraged you to encourage others, basically, about your story and what you're doing now. You're working with youth and I'm sure you see it all the time. I'm sure you have stories of kids who come and, hey, I'm struggling with this, hey, I'm struggling with that. How do you encourage them? How do you motivate them?
Well, basically, I tell them how bad I screwed up in my life and what they do not need to do, the choices they do not need to do. I think that's what God, God will bring anybody through things, but I think He placed me in youth ministry and with students and with young adults because they're going through some of those things today. And I'm 36 years old now. And so it's been a cycle of many years, and I can tell kids and young adults, guys, here's what happened. Here's what I went through. If you're going through the same thing, here's what got me through it. It was solely God. It was solely a relationship with God. And was it easy? Absolutely not. Is it still easy? Absolutely not. I have to wake up all the time, at least every day or every other day. I pray for God just to strengthen me for the day, to say no, because I'm one choice away from going back to where I was at.
So is that really what helped get you through, is really your faith and God and Teen Challenge? Because, a lot of people say that they just go to, rehab and then it's done. But with you, I hear you talking about, your love and your passion and your relationship with Christ, and now you're working at a church and working with youth. Is that really what helps you, you'd say, get you through everything?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Dustin. It was God and Teen Challenge. Teen Challenge is not, a lot of people with drug addictions, I feel like they just go to a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day rehab.
Yeah.
Teen Challenge was a year long. So it was a year long. And the trials that I went through, I was 6 months. I'd been married for 6 months. My wife was in nursing school and working at Outback. And I left, and we lived in Key West. Our rent was $1,800 a month.
Wow.
And I left my wife and trusted in God to go to this rehabilitation center for an entire year, and God brought us through all of that. Was it difficult? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think me relying on God and realizing that I had to get myself right to go back to my life. A lot of people, what they do is they don't want to go into like a year-long rehabilitation center, or they don't want to get help because they have so many things to do in their life right now. What I had to do is I had to say, my wife told me, she said, Jeff, go get yourself right. God will take care of us, and our family will take care of us. And so I did. I had to literally be selfish and focus on myself and get myself right so I could go back to my family. And now I am the man I am today because of Teen Challenge and because God brought me through all of that.
Sort of go from, drug addiction, growing up as a pastor's kid, going to drug addiction, sort of maybe not liking being a pastor's kid, not liking the whole church thing, becoming a drug addict, going to Teen Challenge, trying to get right, and now you're a youth pastor in Miami.
Okay. Yes, pastor's kid, drug addict, Teen Challenge graduate, and then a
graduate. This guy's one of the funniest guys I ever met.
Come
so,
on.
But he's a graduate. So
graduate. So when I got back when I left Teen Challenge, I thought God was going to call me in to work at a Teen Challenge, to work with drug addicts, people that are trying to get off drugs. And so what I did was I just went back to my church. I got a job as a jet ski tour guide to help pay the bills. I know.
Best job ever, jet ski tour guide in Key West.
Besides ministry.
Ministry.
Yeah. So what I did is, for anybody out there that's looking to do that, you know what I did? I served every place I could, from cleaning bathrooms to our school of ministry in this little church. If the church doors were opened when I got out of Teen Challenge, if the church doors were open, I was there. I was literally at my church probably 4 or 5 days or nights a week. Anytime there was I don't care if it was a women's ministry, I'll run sound in the back. I was literally there, and finally they're like, my gosh, this guy's here all the time. Do you want to start helping out? And we need help in this area and in this area. And then all of a sudden someone's like, we need help in youth ministry. And I'm like, sure, I'll go up there. Went up there, boom.
Loved it.
Because
I remember when I first met you, you were like, he was a jet ski tour guy when I first met him. And he was doing youth ministry, he was doing both. Remember when I first met him, I remember he said this, and I was like, dude, you're crazy. He was like, I'm not really sure if I'm going to do youth ministry. Do you remember telling me that one day? He was like, I'm not really sure if this is for me. I think it's just a time thing, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to go all the way through. And then now I see him, and he's loving it.
Full blown,
and jet ski things all done with, and now he's just doing cool things, neon parties, and all kinds of ridiculous, crazy stuff with the kids, and so it's great.
That's right, because I think, I might be a 36-year-old, I might like to think.
Doesn't look like it, though.
I might, okay, so I am 36, maybe I look like I'm 26, and I act like I'm 16. Okay, so I fit in perfect with the teenagers, they love me. All right, so maybe that's why. you know, and I have crazy energy, and I think the students need crazy energy, you know, and the young people just need good role models, and they need good people out there, you know.
By the way, can you give me your foot real quick? Look at this. Do you see these? Boom, he got the hookup if you need them.
My black Yeezys, come on.
Anyways, thank you for watching this first interview with INO. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys soon.